Hi, this is Anna. We wanted to let you know before the episode that we did have some technical issues with our audio and video. We did our best to edit it, and if you notice any lag, that's why. We hope you enjoy the episode. Deep dives into heroes' lives. Together we'll see who dies and survives. Circled around a sacred fire, strumming along with our favorite lyre. Adventure called a quest awaits. Your destiny's in the hands of the fates. But never fear, we're all friends here. We'll have your back when danger's near. Come with us through the pages as we unravel a tale for the ages into the Percy-Verse.
Hello and welcome to the Percy-Verse Podcast. I'm Alisa.
And I'm Anna. So pull on your Fruit of the Looms, not sponsored, because today we're discussing The Lightning Thief, Chapter 4, My Mother Teaches Me Bullfighting. Let's go. You like that one?
That was good. That was a good one.
Thanks. I mean, if Fruit of the Looms wants to sponsor us at any point in the future.
Sure, yeah, we'll take
open to it, you know. Happy to do so. This was the first one where we didn't have to wait until the very end of the chapter to get the title.
Yes.
More
More kind of like
so
a
far.
midway point through the chapter. Yes.
Yep. Sally's got skills. I mean, she's the MVP of this chapter for sure.
She really is.
Yeah, she should be in the Fast and Furious movies for sure, is what I learned. As well as being a Disney
family.
princess.
She's family.
She is family. I mean. Now, my first note on here is that the first sentence of this chapter absolutely felt like it could start a murder mystery.
Oh,
so imagine
totally.
like ominous music starting, and this is an audiobook. We tore through the night along dark country roads. And it's like, that's the start.
Absolutely. Yes.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
It's like the start of a murder mystery. We jump in like the murder has happened, and then we kind of do that 2 weeks prior or whatever, and then we like catch up.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Definitely.
So I love that. And yeah, this is just we are dropped in mid action in this chapter, which I think is quite fun.
Very fun.
We haven't had that yet.
Yeah, and this is the most action-packed chapter we've had so far. It is kind of, it starts at a 10, starts at like a 10 out of 10, and then it just keeps on going. We metaphorically never take our foot off of the gas, I feel like, in this chapter.
Literally, but pretty much, mostly.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. It is intense. It is exciting. It has action after action. We don't even really get answers yet.
Yeah.
We just get more hints.
Yeah, with a little bit, we get a little bit of specificity. The only answer that we really get is that Grover's a satyr, but otherwise...
Which I have a question about when we get there. But yes, we very, very few answers, but we get new clues, new hints, new character names. So that's very exciting. And I really love, this is where it kind of started in the last chapter, but I like Sally and Grover's dynamic in this chapter because it's kind of like taking turns being the adult or being the one who's mad at the other one. Or
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, second half of the chapter, Grover is kind of hilarious, sad, classic Grover. So that's really exciting.
Yeah. So let's dive right in. So we start again, the tearing through the night, wind slamming against the Chimera rain, lashing against the windshield. And what I kind of wrote for when Percy says, I didn't know how my mom could see anything, but she kept her foot on the gas. I was just like, mom adrenaline has kicked in.
Also, magic eyes.
True. That's
just saying.
True. No,
just
that's
saying.
true.
I'm not giving up on this.
This is going to be our first like official Percy Jackson theory.
Sally Jack. Well, there's two theories about her. One from last time, just to recap for the folks at home. Number one, Sally Jackson is a Disney princess, which I have more to say about from this chapter, actually.
Yeah.
Number two, Sally Jackson has magic eyes. And
Yes.
to me, that's not the most catchy way to say that. So we'll keep thinking of it because it sounds kind of weird, the phrase magic eyes. But it's what it is. We just need to figure out how to say it better.
But yes, using her magic eyes, I feel like her mom adrenaline has truly just kicked in,
100%.
Where it's like she could lift a car.
She could lift the Camaro right now. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah. She is just on full mom mode in this moment. Very much just kind of like, I will do whatever necessary to get my son out of the situation and safe.
Absolutely. And then, like, Zeus is just, like, really unhelpful in general in life all the time.
Worst. Yes.
And I'm just like, so we've got Hades over here sending creatures. We've got Zeus having crazy thunderstorms and lightning.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I get it, like, sibling rivalry, whatever, but y'all need to calm down. Like,
I know, seriously.
This is a boy, and he's, like, 12.
Yeah.
And this is very dangerous.
Well, and there's already the Minotaur happening. So why add a storm?
We don't need both.
No, we really don't need both.
We don't need both. Though it seems like they're both kind of started around the same time because the storm happens before Percy wakes up, and at that point the Minotaur is already like coming after them and Grover's knocking at the door.
Well, and when Percy wakes up, his mom says hurricane. So I kind of think the storm and the hurricane are kind of Zeus and Poseidon fighting, and
exactly that was
Percy's
already started.
Catching
but it kind of sounds
basically.
like Zeus like levels it up in this whole scene. So
yeah. And so then, despite all of this kind of insanity happening, Percy's really, for a paragraph here, kind of zeroed in on Grover sitting next to him in the back seat.
On the pants.
And kind of wondering, is he wearing shag carpet pants? But there's this smell that's familiar, like a wet barnyard animal. And again, just so much focus and emphasis on smell.
Totally.
Like, so much on scents.
Though, as soon as I read that, I was like, I know that smell. I can smell that smell.
Yes.
And I think that it's a good device for that purpose as well.
And then the first thing that Percy says in this chapter is, so you and my mom know each other?
Yes. Which I love this question.
Yes.
Like I wrote, I love that this is the question. Because it's not like, why shaggy pants, right? It's not like, what's chasing us? It's like, wait, you two know each other? Like, I just love that that's Percy's top area of concern.
Yes.
Is
my best friend and my mom know each other?
Which also, like, probably makes, like, very 12-year-old again.
Yes.
But hilarious, I think.
Absolutely.
Given, like, everything else that's going on right now. We're in a speeding car. We can't see where we're going. There's a creature after us. But you two know each other? Like, that's the question. And then it's interesting. We get Grover saying not exactly. I mean, we've never met in person. So that's interesting to find out. But she knew I was watching you, which also Grover and Mr. Brenner, but just the wording could be better. Like,
really poor word choice. Really poor word choice to explain things that doesn't kind of just make it sound more ominous and threatening and scary.
Like kind of creepy. And I'm just like, I don't want someone to tell me that they've been watching me. Like, I don't. Kind of like in Gilmore Girls when Dean is like starts out talking to her like, I've been watching you. And you read and some guy got hit with a football or something and like you didn't even look up, and I'm just like, Dean, like, that's creepy. Like the way you're saying it. Like, sure, maybe you would pay more attention to someone that you're interested in, right?
Right. But you'd be like, oh, like I noticed. Like, or, but
but I've like, been watching you, just for the record, like not a sentence anyone should ever say to anyone ever. It's just like not the vibe. And so Percy naturally is like, watching me? What does that mean? And he says, keeping tabs on you, making sure you're okay. I do appreciate that he adds, but I wasn't faking being your friend. I am your friend.
I know. I love
and Percy doesn't even question it, right? He moves on to the next question.
Right. But no, I really do love, because it just shows how much Grover really cares.
Yeah.
And exactly, it is true. And Grover really does care about their friendship. And so in that moment, I think, is wanting to kind of really clarify, like, hey, yes, I was watching you, but our friendship is truly genuine, and none of that was fake, it just kind of came along with the fact that I was watching you. So
because it is his job, and it's like in every rom-com where someone's like being paid to like date someone or something, and then you find out and you're like, oh my gosh, like what a betrayal. And so I think in this case it's like yes, it's my job to look after you. And also I am your friend. Like, I genuinely am your friend.
Yes.
But Percy knows. He's not even worried about that.
Yeah. No, Percy asks in a very kind of like indelicate way.
Also, he matches the indelicacy.
Yeah. What are you exactly?
Also something you should never ask someone.
I know.
For the record.
Percy. There are better ways to ask this question.
Yeah. Granted, it is a strange experience to find out that your best friend has, like, a goat bottom half.
Right.
Like, that's a strange experience. It's not something most of us go through. But no, what are you exactly? Again, just no one ever needs to be... No. Anyone who is like mixed race has potentially been asked this question of what are you exactly? And we don't need to be asking this question.
No.
Not the vibe.
And then Grover goes, that doesn't matter right now. Because to be fair, it's kind of in the order of priority. We've got a priority list of things kind of most important to least important.
Doesn't matter in Grover's perspective. But I understand why it's top of mind for Percy.
Understandably, but their lives are truly, genuinely in danger.
Yes, no, they are. So but Percy doesn't have the full context yet. Like, he has a general sense they're in danger, someone's after them, whatever. But like, he's a people person. He loves his friends. That comes out very clearly in a way. Like, his fatal flaw is like on full display in this chapter. So I understand he's focused on his friend. And I understand Grover's focused on the mortal peril, The fact that they got their priorities. Yeah, just a little bit important to him right now.
Just a little bit.
But I do love that he can't help himself when Percy says the wrong animal, though.
I know, immediately. Because Percy goes, it doesn't matter. From the waist down, my best friend is a donkey. And Grover's immediately not having any of it.
No, he's like...
He's absolutely offended. We get our first, bleed.
Yep.
And I love that Percy then says that he'd heard him make that sound before, but always assumed it was just a kind of nervous laugh.
Because he's making it make sense.
He's making it all make sense.
Always.
And it also feels very true to Grover that, like, he wouldn't really do a good job of disguising that.
No, because
and
we're secret keeper ever.
Yeah, it's kind of fully relying on Percy doing the, like, mental gymnastics to make it all make sense.
Yep. And then he's like, goat. I'm a goat from the waist down. And then Percy unhelpfully has to bring the snark in. You said it didn't matter. Like,
and Grover...
Not the time, Percy.
No. And Grover's deeply insulted and says their satyrs would trample you under hoof for such an insult.
Underhoof. I love underhoof, instead of underfoot. Just love that.
Yeah.
And that, but that's our first mention. Satyr, which is very exciting. And Percy is not skipping a beat. Whoa, wait, satyrs? You mean like Mr. Brunner's myths? And
which so funny that he calls them Mr. Brunner's myths.
I know, not the Greek,
the Greek myths, but no, specifically, Mr. Brunner's myths.
Yeah, that's so like that makes sense though. Like I feel like it's your teacher, you're in middle school. But here's my question. Ready for my question?
I'm ready.
Okay, this is Latin class, right?
Right. No, I know they wouldn't be called satyrs.
They'd be fawns.
They'd be fawns.
And so I'm just wondering because
maybe he was kind of doing maybe Mr. Brunner did a little bit of that. They're called fawns if you know Greek mythology. They're called satyrs.
It wouldn't surprise me if I never took Latin class. Outing myself as not a Latin class kid, and
wow, big breaking news.
Big breaking news. And so I don't know if like when you talked about the historical context, you talk about Greek mythology and Roman mythology or even the distinctions. Like, I don't know. But given how important this is to later series, it just strikes me as interesting. Like, for example, we know that Percy hadn't heard ancient Greek from the last chapter until Grover said something in ancient Greek. And both of us were like, well, he was in the Latin class. He wasn't in a Greek class, right? Yeah. But then that makes us feel like, okay, we were focused on like Latin, Roman sort of mythologies in that class.
Well, I would kind of assume though that Mr. Brunner would be trying to sneak in like
stuff
Greek mythology educational training, even though it was in a Latin class. So I feel like he probably was doing that in that way of being like, okay, Latin class, learning about Roman mythology, they have their Greek counterparts,
right?
You know, and at least kind of naming what they are, what the name of the Greek counterpart is. That would be my kind of guess, because I feel like, you know, Mr. Brunner, i.e. Chiron, would want to make sure that Percy was getting the knowledge that he actually needed for these 5 books.
I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think so. it struck me as interesting. I was just like, curious.
Yes,
I just would like the syllabus. That's all I'm saying. I would like the syllabus. I'm curious what was reviewed. I'm outing myself as a nerd, but like I would like the syllabus. I would like to see it. Like,
right? Yes.
What did it look
cover?
like? Yeah, because I want to know. I want to know like how much Greek, how much Roman. You know,
sure. Yeah.
Because it doesn't really seem like the Greek half-blood demigods know very much about Roman mythology, like at all, from Camp Half-Blood. So it's very like separated in this universe, you know?
Which, you know,
it's just interesting.
We kind of then understand why it is so separated.
Totally.
But yes, Percy does kind of, and it is kind of interesting that he starts with this, a little bit of feet in both world, and ends up becoming like Jason, one of the ones kind of forced to, in Heroes of Olympus, be the first to have one foot in both of those worlds, and to serve as that kind of bridge. So it is,
which I'm so excited. Those are like my favorites.
Oh, I know. But it is kind of interesting to, you know, see that Percy in chapter 1 started out in a Latin class, learning all of that.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of that somehow is in his brain when he
he
goes later. I don't know. We'll have to pay attention several years from now when we're doing that.
I know all these things. Like, we'll have to pay attention when we get to Heroes of Olympus 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. And then here, okay. So if you're going to gaslight someone, like for their own good or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then like the least you could do is be a little bit contrite when you admit that that's what you've been doing. Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And so Percy says, okay, because Grover, in response to the myth thing, says, were those old ladies at the fruit stand a myth, Percy? Was Mrs. Dodds a myth?
Getting so sassy when it's undeserved, because he's the one who made Percy think
Grover,
all of that was a myth and not real.
For like months you've been saying you're hallucinating, you're crazy, and Percy just goes, so you admit there was a Mrs. Dodds? And then Grover just says, of course. I'm like, Grover,
no,
Grover,
yeah,
unacceptable,
very much
unkind.
No,
come on,
we get basically like, it's this, we get a little bit of like sassy Grover here in
we
a
do.
moment when we need some contrition, we need some, hey, you know what, I know that I was doing it kind of for your safety, and also I'm very sorry.
Yes, like, where's the apology? Where's the apology? And it's just going to get worse on the next page. But like, where's the apology? And then, because here's the thing. There's so many stories where someone's like, I did this to protect you, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, sure, that's true here. Like, he did this to protect him. I get it. But if you did something to protect me, and in so doing, you hurt me, you still hurt me.
Absolutely.
Like, the hurt doesn't go away just because it was for like a good reason. So where's the apology? Yeah. Grover. Come on. So that's not coming. Spoiler alert. That's not coming. Not for Percy. But he is explaining the less you knew, the fewer monsters you'd attract. But he's saying like it should be perfectly obvious. I'm like, Grover, again, just like rude.
I know. Yeah.
We put mist over the human's eyes. So he's also kind of saying we. So like that's kind of interesting. Like,
yeah.
Who has powers of mist? You know, like how does that function? We hoped you'd think the kindly one was a hallucination. Yeah, because you told him that it was a hallucination over and over again. But it was no good. You started to realize who you are. And this is key too, because this is like one of the first times it's like you are not just you're not normal, which is what we've been getting, but like you are something specific.
Right, exactly. Yes, yeah. And then Percy's still, because, well, this is kind of an explanation. That's not really an actual explanation.
No.
Like, when you consider the fact that Percy has still not even been told kind of the basic fundamental 101, hey, the mythological world does exist, and here's kind of how it works, and you can even be the child of a god and therefore be a demigod. Like, he doesn't know any of that stuff.
No.
So this still doesn't really actually answer most of Percy's questions. It just kind of makes him have more.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we are full speed in the dark in a car being chased.
Yeah, cut to Sally in the front seat, just like white knuckle grip on the steering wheel.
In the back, they're having this whole conversation.
Yeah. And Sally's just desperately trying to make sure they don't die.
And we get reminded of this because the weird bellowing noise rises up again somewhere behind them, closer than before. Whatever was chasing us was still on our trail. Ominous page turn moment. And then Sally is, from the front seat, like,
yes,
Percy, there's too much to explain and not enough time. We have to get you to safety. Like, she is focused. She is zoned in. Like, not getting distracted by the bickering that will happen in the back. And then Percy's like, safety from what? And Grover says, nobody much. Okay, go ahead. But this comment, we have to.
No, I know. But that was just like, Sally, I feel like it's another moment where she's just being honest. Like, we literally do not have time to explain this to you. And it's kind of like in the previous chapter, you know, where she's just, while she has secrets that Percy does not know, she's just being honest that there's just literally not enough time to explain everything in this moment.
She's really focused on,
like, threat.
We gotta get to safety, man. We gotta get to safety.
Yeah.
So Grover, because we still got Sassy Grover.
Being Sassy Grover. Oh, fully.
We still have Sassy Grover.
He's here in the house.
Oh, nobody much. Obviously still miffed about the donkey comment. Thanks, Percy. Just the Lord of the Dead and a few of his bloodthirstiest minions. I'm like, just at this moment, is that helpful?
No.
Is that helpful? Will that make anyone in the car feel better? Sally, who's driving, Percy, who's confused. Like, no. But then I was thinking, how do they know it's the Lord of the Dead? Right. And I was like, I think it's because Mrs. Dodds shows up. Like, I think because we have a kindly one, that's how they know that Hades is involved.
Yes. Yeah.
And here, this is my beef.
Okay, well, but really quickly, I'm realizing, I think this is our first, like, God official mention.
Right.
In terms of a reference by one of our characters to a current living god, which I thought was very interesting. So Hades gets kind of first dibs on that.
Dang. Yeah. Wow. Okay, here's my beef. Okay, so Sally goes, Grover.
Yeah.
And then Grover says, sorry, Mrs. Jackson. Could you drive faster, please? So Sally gets an apology.
Oh, yeah, there's your beef. Yeah.
That's my beef? Okay, so this whole time, Percy needs an apology. He deserves an apology, right?
Yeah, he's
not getting one. Sally gets one. Grover. Come on, Grover, do better. So Percy's trying to wrap his mind around what's happening. He can't do it.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, and then I vehemently disagree with the statement, and then we'll circle back to it.
Fully and completely. Yes.
He says, I knew this wasn't a dream. I had no imagination. I could never dream up something this weird. And I put hard disagree. Like,
full hard
you have plenty
disagree.
of imagination. You're going to have imagination in this very chapter. Like,
yes. Yeah.
But I do think that, like, I was just talking with someone the other day about how, like, so many people are like, yeah, I'm not creative. And, like, they fully, like, paint or like do all kinds of creative stuff, garden, like play songs, like all kinds of things. Like, I'm not that creative. I'm like, so I do think it's a thing that, like, we tell ourselves or that society tells us because, like, we undervalue creativity. So I get it, but plenty of imagination. Plenty of imagination.
Yes.
And then this is very exciting. This next chapter is this next paragraph is very exciting. Take it away.
Well, so we have kind of, Sally makes a hard swerve. They go onto a narrow road past darkened farmhouses and wooden hills and pick your own strawberry signs on white picket fences.
Signs,
we get our first
your little
strawberry mention. Cute. Cute.
I'm
Very
so
nice.
excited. For the record, I am currently growing my own strawberries, and it is the best thing ever. So I felt like a stronger connection than usual to this concept of the strawberry fields at camp. But I got excited about that sign. I was like, we're going to camp.
Yeah. My note in this little part was, Sally's doing this without GPS. It's 2005, and Sally Jackson has got it
your
locked
reaction.
in. I was like, she's got no GPS, not in her car. There's not a smartphone to tell her where she has to go. But she knew she was locked in and ready to go to know how to get to camp, probably regardless of wherever she was. And I just think that's very impressive. You know, especially
so
dark, stormy, rainy night where she can't really
that
see where
part.
she's going.
True. Totally. Well, I don't know if she's been to this camp before, because she knows an awful lot about it, about how to get there, what it looks like, what to do when you're there. I'm like, who has given her this rundown? She's never met Grover in person before.
Probably Poseidon.
I guess, but like, you think Poseidon was like, also, was the tree even there when Poseidon would have been telling her before Percy was born?
So then it probably was Chiron.
Maybe. I'm just curious, like, how she met Chiron before. Anyway, I was just like, how does she know all these details? That out. I know. Yeah. I just want to know.
Yeah.
When she learned this, how she knows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious.
Well, oh yeah, because is there a tree? There wouldn't have been a tree there before.
Doesn't she?
Because it's not. She turns into the tree, right?
She turns into the tree, right?
And she gets put into the tree. Oh no!
I thought in my mind she turned into the tree, but does she just like morph with the tree?
I also think she turns into the tree, but that's a really good point.
When she comes out of the tree is still there. The tree is still there. That doesn't mean she didn't turn into the tree.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well. No, okay.
Yeah. I in my brain it's that she turns into the tree, but then I had a moment of doubt in this. Yeah. How does?
That's how it is in my brain. So anyway, I'm just like, is Chiron just like sending memos to all the parents who might have kids in danger? Like, now you can tell them there's a tree at the top of the hill. Right. We don't need to explain further. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about the tree.
Nothing bad. Your kid can't turn into a tree. Like, don't worry. You know, like. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just really curious. Like, we'll go through it, but she has a lot of knowledge about this.
No, she does. Well, and you can tell she's been preparing. She has been prepared for a long time.
She has like a monster manual, and she has been reading it. Like,
she has the Mythomagic cards, and she's been quizzing herself.
Mythomagic quiz.
She's got the cards, and she's been quizzing herself.
Oh, I love the idea that like stats. Her and Nico could like play Mythomagic together. Doesn't that sound adorable?
That immediately, as soon as she said the thing
Nico
about
needs
like
a Sally Jackson
he can't turn quickly. Oh, he really does. As soon as she said the thing about like he can't turn quickly, I was like, she's got the Mythomagic cards. She has the Mythomagic cards. She has been studying. She knows the stats. She knows the weaknesses. Like,
she knows the stats. I love that. And then, you know, she's being a mom. Like, she's getting them to safety. Yeah. Her voice is tight, as she says, the summer camp I told you about. Trying for Percy's sake not to be scared. The place your father wanted to send you. And this is so hard for her. Like, she is not only like saving their lives and driving in these really dangerous conditions, but she is doing it to get to an end result that she's not happy about. Like, she is trying to save her son's life, thinking that it might mean that, I don't know, she never sees him again, or sees him very little, or, you know, and it's like she just loves him so much.
See that he is safe, because she can't follow him into camp. So she's just having to trust that he will be safe there, but she can't even visually see, okay, this is the big house, this is the cabin he'll be in, like, these are the people he's gonna know. Like, she just basically would have to watch from the hill and go, okay, fingers crossed, everything turns out okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he can't even have a cell phone to call her. Yeah, and like give her updates. So she's just having to trust what she's been told, that it's a safe place for him to go, but she can't even like verify and confirm.
That is really hard. I doubt there's like a Google review for Camp Half-Blood there. You could read all the other parents' feedback, you know?
Yelp reviews.
So I think that's really hard. That's really hard.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'd want to be able to like do your research about where you're sending your kid more, you know?
Yeah,
so hopefully she has met Karen and that's how she knows some of the stuff. And anyone who's met Karen would be put more at ease, I think, just like getting things explained to them. But But Percy says, the place you didn't want me to go to, which, like, valid. And then she's like, this is hard enough. Try to understand you're in danger. And then Percy is just like, snarky, snark, snark. And he's like, because some old ladies cut yarn. Like, that's why I'm in danger. I don't believe in magic stuff yet. And then we get an actual name situation, which is very exciting. Grover says, those weren't old ladies. Those were the Fates. And then Grover.
I know.
I'm just like... the wording, the word choice.
Yeah, is really
It's poor. Like when you're editing a paper and you put the WC for like word choice beside. I'm like all of Grover's dialogue. I'm like word choice, word choice, word choice, word choice.
I know. Because what he says is, do you know what it means the fact that they appeared in front of you? They only do that when you're about to ... when someone's about to die. He doesn't even catch himself enough before he gets the when you're about to switch it to when
that would
someone.
be wrong. Like it does, it is the plural you, the like all-inclusive you. Yes. Like that would be more accurate. But like, even if that is what he meant, which he argues real hard that it is, and I would argue it is not what he meant, it would be wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
It would be wrong.
And so of course Percy immediately picks up on, whoa, you said you.
Yeah.
He's not letting that thread go. And then Grover, again, coming back in a little bit of gaslighting, trying to be like, no, I didn't. I said someone. and Percy's not having it and goes, you meant you as in me. And then Grover's like, no, I meant you like someone, not you. And then Sally from the front seat is basically like, stop talking.
Yeah. She's like, boys. And I love that too, because it's very like... Yeah. It shows their friendship and the way that you would just like go back and forth with a friend and be arguing over something that's like kind of trivial. And, you know, in this moment, like it doesn't feel like, it feels like they could be going to the beach. Like it feels like they're not running for their lives. It feels like they're just in the back seat arguing over, you know, I don't know, whether like Iron Man would beat Hulk and a whatever. And then Sally's like, boys, like from the front seat. Like, it's kind of sweet. It's kind of cute, but we really need to be like pulled back to reality, because at that point, then
immediately are.
She pulls the wheel hard to the right and Percy gets a glimpse of a figure she'd swerved to avoid, a dark fluttering shape now lost behind the storm. And I was just like, dang, Sally, like you are, that's what I'm saying, Fast and Furious. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, featuring Sally Jackson. Like she can do that. And then Percy's now focused on what really matters. And he's like, what was that?
Yeah.
What was that? No answer. We're almost there, Sally says, ignoring the question. Another mile. Please, please, please. And you can just feel, like you said, white knuckle earlier. Like,
yes,
you can just feel that she is like, let's just get there. This is terribly frightening.
Just absolutely desperate to just get there.
Yeah.
And in this moment, I think you can really feel like her only concern is Percy's safety. You know, she is just desperate to make sure that she sees him cross over that hill.
That's
so
the
that
focus.
She can know that he's safe and he's okay.
100%. 100%. And Percy doesn't know where there was. He's anticipating. He's starting to want to arrive. And outside, it is just rain and darkness. And Percy's remembering Mrs. Dodds. That's kind of freaking him out, which is fair. Realizing that, like, Mrs. Dodds really wanted to kill him, which... Not necessarily... We know that's not necessarily true. But that's the vibe when someone's coming at you with their talons. And he's taking that really seriously now. And then he's thinking about Mr. Brunner and the sword. But before he can ask Grover, the hair rises on the back of his neck, which I kind of love that he has this like reaction before it happens.
He's got like this.
There's a blinding flash, a jaw-rattling boom, and our car exploded. Wow.
And
that's
then
terrifying.
Deeply terrifying. Especially, he's kind of running through these terrifying memories, and then this absolutely terrifying thing
and then
happens
boom.
in reality, and then boom.
Yeah, not great, not great.
Yeah. And this description is so... It's kind of like time stops for a second for this just like one sentence description that says, I remember feeling weightless, like I was being crushed, fried, and hosed down all at the same time. Which...
Great description.
Incredible description. Yeah. And then we come to the basically kind of like, okay, car has crash landed essentially. And he peels his forehead off the back of the driver's seat.
I know, which you can hear and feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like the sound.
And
he just says,
Sally,
ow.
Yeah.
That, the tamest reaction in the world to what just happened.
Yeah, right. Ow. To just a deeply terrifying thing happening. And, Sally is immediately like, Percy,
for sure.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I mean, this is her main priority right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny where Percy goes, I tried to shake off the daze. I wasn't dead. Like, he's kind of like, okay, I've checked with myself. I did survive.
A, I'm not dead.
I'm alive. Okay, great.
B, the car hadn't really exploded. And C, we swerved into a ditch. Like, yes. We're checking back in with reality. I thought it was a really, writing-wise, it was a really interesting thing to say, our car exploded. It's like, Percy is an unreliable narrator in this moment. Like, he didn't say it felt like the car exploded, which is what he meant. Like, he said the car exploded. And later he's like, the car hadn't really exploded.
Right.
So I kind of like that. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Like, we have this little moment of unreliable narration. Yeah. And then we get back to like, okay, here's reality. I'm back. I know what's happening,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's really interesting. And then I mean.
Go ahead.
Well, no, it's the driver's side doors are wedged into the mud. The roof had been cracked open like an eggshell. Rain is pouring in. Like, that is just a really scary situation to be in, even if there's not a dangerous creature coming after you.
Yeah.
But the idea that lightning blasted them off the road, I'm just like, that's harsh, Zeus.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know.
Levels of unnecessary.
Truly, yes. It's so completely unnecessary. Because also Zeus, in doing this, is basically just kind of like speculating. He's like, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? I think. Who knows, maybe. Well, also there's a Minotaur chasing him. Again, it's like, there's already someone on this, Zeus. You don't need to hop on the train. The train is taken off. We've got a conductor.
Really intense.
You can let it ride.
Intense. It's really hard to have two, Olympian gods after you at the same time. Like,
yes, yeah,
that's a rock and a hard place kind of situation.
Yeah. Yes.
And then Grover didn't make it out as well as Percy did here.
No, he's kind of unconscious.
Yeah. Ish. Yeah.
Yeah, not really fully awake. We get the description that he slumped over, blood trickling from the side of his mouth. And then Percy says, I shook his furry hip thinking, no, even if you are a half barnyard animal, you're my best friend and I don't want you to die.
Yeah, I was like, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. And then Grover groans and says, food. Which we got Hungry Grover in the house, people. So we had Grover. Sassy Grover. We had Protector Grover. Then we had Sassy Grover. We are now back to Hungry Grover. And here we shall remain.
For the whole chapter.
For the whole rest of the chapter. With no satisfactory, conclusion to, Grover's need for food, unfortunately. But I love that it's like he groaned that and then Percy knew there was hope. That's my friend. That's my best friend.
Yeah. If he's groaning for food, there's still hope. It'll all be okay.
There's still hope. And here we go. Our first description, not fully formed.
No. Not like identifying that it's a Minotaur, not identifying exactly what we're seeing, but getting there. We're actually this is Percy's first closer up look at the creature.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, the flash of lightning is illuminating, stopping Sally in her mid-sentence. A figure lumbering toward us on the shoulder of the road, which this would be so scary. A dark silhouette of a huge guy like a football player. Love that description. Seemed to be holding a blanket over his head. His top half was bulky and fuzzy, and his upraised hands made it look like he had horns. And I'm like, or he just has horns.
I know.
But we'll get
there. Percy's brain is still, he's not fully accepted the reality.
No.
So he's still kind of like, okay, how do I make sense of this?
It's like with Percy,
he's
you don't need the mist. He's like got his own internal mist, like always available to just like make it make sense.
Fully. He's like, he's got a blanket on his head and his arms are raised.
Yeah, because that's why how you just walk toward people is like both hands up. Blanket, like that's the most. Yeah. When you're tracking people, you put a blanket over your head and you put your hands really high in the air. Like that's classic tracking strategy.
Yep. Infallible.
And Percy follows hard, who is, and then Sally in a deadly serious voice says, "Percy, get out of the car." And then this is terrifying. I have to say, like, the scariest part of like any TV show or movie for me is when I have a little claustrophobia, and like when people are trapped in small spaces, like whether it's underwater, underground, or whatever. I immediately had a visceral response to Sally slamming herself against the driver's side door, and it was stuck in the mud, and so was Percy's. And I'm just like, the hole in the roof has edges that are sizzling and smoking. I'm like, I am scared. Get me out of here. This is not happen. Like, no, that's terrifying to me.
And so then Sally immediately kind of is going, okay, we can't all get out of the car, so I'm going to give Percy the directions for how he can get out, where he needs to go, telling him to climb out the passenger's side, that he needs to run, pointing out the big tree, which this is the first time my brain processed that Percy describes it as a huge White House Christmas tree.
Yeah, sized pine.
That's his way of just his descriptor
bar
choice
for like big trees.
Right. The White House Christmas tree.
They have they have like 30 Christmas trees. And again, like, this is where I ask the question, like, how does she know? So I'm curious. I want to know. I want to track that and see if we find an answer to that. The property line, Sally is telling him, get over that hill and you'll see a big farmhouse down in the valley. Run and don't look back. Don't stop until you reach the door. So it's like someone gave her a map or something. Like, she knows. She's never been there. She can't go there. She knows an awful lot about, camp, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I still think my theory on that really would be kind of a combo of Poseidon and then maybe at some point Chiron or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Kind of giving her a little bit more info. Because Chiron wouldn't know necessarily that he's the son of Poseidon right now, right?
No. Chiron doesn't know.
And so... But he would know...
He would know about Percy, obviously, because he's going to the school to teach him and stuff. Yeah, I'm just curious, like, how all that went down. Sally's pretty determined, so I wouldn't be surprised if she kind of, like, hounded camp, like...
Oh, absolutely,
wrote a letter every day kind of thing until she got some answers, like...
Yes.
And then Karen, like, sends her an answer and the Mythomagic deck to study.
Study this.
Because, like, she knows so much about all these things.
Yeah, she really does.
And then here we start with Percy and his fatal flaw.
Yeah.
And he says, "Mom, you're coming too." And then I love this line. Her face was pale, her eyes as sad as when she looked at me at the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
So sad. It's almost like she knows what's coming.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, like, he's having none of it. And he's like, you are coming with me. Help me carry Grover. Percy is leaving no satyr behind. Like, we are doing this. Grover, just food.
The only thing on his mind is just food.
Hungry Grover. That's all we need.
The thought that I just had, because about this whole, like, Percy's fatal flaw. Is, he basically, like, he can't leave anyone behind. Right. What I think is so interesting is that I think, given that we then have, in just a little bit, where the Minotaur throws the car and fully like explodes it. I wonder if like, I don't think Sally probably would have survived had Percy not insisted that she
that was going to be my
him.
question. I think you can take it either way. I think you can say Sally wouldn't have survived because the Minotaur is going to throw the car. I think that's one option. In which case, Percy leaving no one behind is like saves Sally's life ultimately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I think you can say Sally would have gotten Grover out in time while Percy's running, and then Sally wouldn't even have had to disappear into gold. Like, wouldn't have gotten taken. And I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Right.
To that. But I think you could slice it either way. I think there's time for it to have gone either way.
Yeah. I just think with how hard it is for them to maneuver Grover between the two of them, I don't know if Sally would have been able to get him out of the car on her own. It's my kind of feeling, because they really, they can only do it because it's the both of them. So I feel like, and even in later books, like Percy's insistence on not leaving anyone behind, while it is kind of his fatal flaw, I do think in the end it does kind of always result in everyone that he loves living.
Totally.
You know, and
I do like, I think a fatal flaw that is largely a positive is a great fatal flaw, because I feel like it creates more tension inside of it. Like, it makes you so empathize with the character and be like, how could that be? Like, how could it be a flaw to want to save everyone? Like, I love the idea that Percy's like at a job interview and someone's like, so what's your weakness? You know, what's your greatest weakness? And he, knowing his fatal flaw at that point, you know, goes, I just love my friends too much. I just can't ever leave any of them behind when they're in mortal peril. You know, the way you're like, I'm too thoughtful at work, you know, like the way people will say.
Much. I'm too devoted to my job.
I work too hard.
Best
Best weaknesses in an interview. So I love that the idea that he would be there saying,
my weakness is I won't let anyone die.
Yeah, no dying on my watch, says Percy Jackson. So Percy is realizing that this man with a blanket on his head couldn't be holding a blanket on his head, because his hands, huge meaty hands, were swinging at his sides. There was no blanket, meaning the bulky fuzzy mass that was too big to be his head, ... was his head. You're getting there, Percy. You're getting there. And the points that look like horns, ... maybe those are actually horns, Percy.
Maybe.
Also, maybe hands aren't like always shaped. Anyway,
right.
What arms are you looking at? But Sally's on it. She says, he doesn't want us. He wants you. Besides, I can't cross the property line. She's still kind of like, you gotta run. You gotta run, kid. Like, I need you to be safe.
And I do think her, like, he doesn't want us piece is true, and I get it. And also, this is a monster, and I don't think you're going to make it out of it just because Percy is his primary target. You know, like,
absolutely
the reality
not.
of the
And that
situation
even
is
later,
no
he comes for... Yeah, he comes for Sally and Grover.
Yeah.
So that's proven that he does. We don't have time, Percy. Go, please.
And then Percy gets mad at his mom, at Grover. He says at Grover the goat. He's got to throw a little bit of sass in here.
A little bit.
At the thing with the horns that was lumbering towards us slowly and deliberately like a bull.
Yes.
So yeah, I think this is another moment where Percy's letting himself feel that very, understandable anger about what's happening, and that the people who could be filling him completely in are not doing so.
For sure. And that, like, his mom's saying to, like, go without her, and he's like, never would I ever do that.
Right. He's like, in no way.
And I think this anger, though, is probably going to help him with the next pieces. Like, I do think that
absolutely
adrenaline that can come from getting mad is going to serve him well for, like, having the strength to do what happens next. So he climbs across, and he's done talking at this point. And he's like, I'm mad. We're not talking about it anymore. We're just doing. Climbed across Grover, pushed the door open into the rain. We're going together. Come on, Mom. I am not leaving you. Help me with Grover. And he didn't even wait. He's just like, we're doing this.
Nope.
And he says that Grover was surprisingly light, but that Percy couldn't have carried him very far if his mom hadn't come to his aid. So they start to stumble uphill through the waist-high grass, and then Percy looks back, and he gets his first clear look at the monster, and this might be one of my favorite monster descriptions of any of the books.
Oh, it's
this
incredible.
Always stuck in my head.
It's incredible.
I love it.
Yeah.
He was 7 feet tall, which honestly, like, I was picturing taller, I have to say. 7 feet tall doesn't, like, humans can be 7 feet tall, so it's kind of like,
yeah,
I don't know. I was picturing like at least 8 or something, but anyway, 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
So maybe he was taller. His arms and legs, like something from the cover of Muscle Man magazine, which, like, I need to see. I need to see the Minotaur on the cover of Muscle Man I just need to see it. We need to make this happen at some point. Bulging biceps and triceps, and a bunch of other seps. Lol. I love that. All stuffed like baseballs under vein-webbed skin. He wore no clothes except underwear. I mean, bright white fruit of the looms, which would have looked funny except that the top half of his body was so scary. Coarse brown hair started about his belly button and got thicker as it reached his shoulders. His neck was a mass of muscle and fur leading up to his enormous head, which had a snout as long as my arm, which I had to pause there because, wow, a snout as long as Percy's arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Snotty nostrils with a gleaming brass ring, cruel black eyes and horns, enormous black and white horns with points you just couldn't get from an electric sharpener, which, again, I thought as a description from, like, a kid in middle school in the early 2000s, like, that's really funny. You couldn't get that from an electric sharpener. But the thing is, I invite everyone to just, like, next time you read this, try to hold in your head the underwear, like, for the whole rest of the chapter. Because sometimes I think when you're reading this chapter, you, like, it's easy to forget that this is a man in, like, tidy whities. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny. And he says it would have been funny except, and I'm like, no, it's funny. Like, it is funny. And so I just think it's easy to forget, but I was just like, if you hold that in your head the whole time, it just makes the whole chapter really, really funny. And I appreciate that. That's part of the charm of these books is,
it
like,
really does.
In the midst of something really intense, we are always going to have a joke. And this is a really good one.
Always. Yeah. Yeah. And I do think this is probably one of the most, iconic monster descriptions
100%.
we really get, you know, in this
100%.
series
I agree.
and in general. It's just like, I think if you probably ask anyone to, you know, describe a monster from these books, I think the vast majority are probably going to default to the Minotaur because the description is so vivid and so funny, and the contrast of having this massive threatening monster in Fruit of the Loom tidy whities is just amazing.
It's so funny. It's so good. And at this point, Percy knows what he's looking at. I recognize the monster all right. Now, the reader doesn't know yet. We're still going to be held in suspense a little bit. But apparently this had been one of the first stories Mr. Brunner told them. And I'm like, did he know? Like, this was one of the first stories. Like, is that again, let me see the syllabus. Is that standard always the first story? Or, like, was this for Percy? I just want to know. You know, this is such a classic, like, writing thing where you, like, have a different way of describing, so you don't say the name yet.
Yes.
So we say Pasiphae's son.
It's dangerous to say the
Minotaur.
name.
No, I know, but, like,
well, because it's dangerous
in this universe,
and
that's
Sally
the excuse.
knows.
Yes. I'm just saying it's such a writing trope.
But I love,
like, in books.
Yeah. But I love that Sally is prepped with the, like, full Greek mythology. You know, she knows it's Pasiphae's son.
She has her cards.
Like,
it's on the card.
She's locked and loaded. Yeah, she knows.
Yeah. And then she goes, I wish I'd known how badly they want to kill you, which, like, again, we're just throwing around killing Percy, like, here, and, like, willy-nilly in a way that's, like, a lot. But also, like, I don't know, I think people told her that. So Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You want to keep him close, but and then Percy says, but he's the min, and he doesn't get it out because she says, don't say his name, names have power, which I just like that sentence, names have power. I think it's true in general. And I like, I don't know, it's just like a little nugget of gold that's just tucked in the chapter, you know?
Yeah. And then we get now an actual distance that the pine tree is 100 yards at least uphill, if not maybe a little further.
Which sounds far. I'm one of those people that like, it'll be like, go, you know, 100 feet forward and then you'll reach your destination. And I'm like, I do not know what 100 feet looks like. Like I have no, that could be, I could see it. That could be, I have no idea. So to me, 100 yards sounds far, but I don't know how far that actually is to run.
Well, I mean, that's like a football field, right? Because 50-yard line is halfway through.
I don't know football. Oh, that kind of makes sense.
You marching band on.
I know,
but from marching band, the 50-yard line.
You're right.
So it's a football field.
That is the thing. 50 yards.
So it's far.
Okay, so a football field away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit. Okay, so that doesn't seem
pretty
that
far.
wild. Yeah, but like you can
still see it.
You could get there. And yeah. Okay.
But like, I mean, you know, running across a whole entire football field.
Oh,
you know,
that would be tiring. Yes.
Yeah.
I got, well, especially carrying someone.
Yes.
So the bull man, because we don't have a name yet, hunched over the cart, looking in the windows.
Well, no, I mean, Percy knows the name, but I love that he,
even
even
as a
to
reader.
Us, says bull man. I think because, you know, we're kind of getting his inner monologues. He knows, okay, I can't say minotaur, so
I can't say minotaur. I've been told. And it seems like he's looking, but he's actually snuffling and nuzzling. I wasn't sure why he bothered since we were only about 50 feet away. So we haven't like learned all the rules yet about minotaurs. Right. Grover, one track mind / not really present in his mind. Still food, but with a question mark this time. And I was like, oh, Grover, he's missing everything. Like this, when he wakes up fully, it must just really kill him that like he was out for the count for this whole thing on the same area where he already had like a bad experience before. I'm like, Grover, that just sucks.
Well, and we learn later on that he carries a lot of guilt, both for Talia, but then for this, that in the moment that he was needed the most as a protector, he was knocked out, you know, through no fault of his own. It just, you know, got conked in the noggin and couldn't really wake up.
Yep. Just could say food over and over again. So still got hungry Grover.
And then Sally comes prepped with the mytho-magic cards.
Oh yeah, we're here. We know.
His sight and hearing are terrible. He goes by smell, but he'll figure out where we are soon enough. And this truly was a moment where I went, Sally has been studying. Sally has been reading. She's been quizzing herself. She's been making sure that she knows so that she's prepared for whatever monster comes. She knows their strengths. She knows their weaknesses. She's got it.
Yep, she knows how to fight them, all the things. As if on cue, the bull man bellowed in rage, and then here, we have a glorious paragraph that I've been waiting for since last chapter. Let's go. He picked up Gabe's Camaro by the torn roof, the chassis. I think I've heard this word. Okay. Chassis. I've never had to say that out loud. Creaking and groaning. He raised the car over his head and threw it down the road. Let's go. It slammed into the wet asphalt and skidded into a shower of sparks for about half a mile, before coming to a stop, and then the gas tank exploded. And I was like, normally I'm not this excited about cars getting ruined, obviously. But this is Gabe's car, and he cares a lot. He cares more about the car than about any other human. And so I've just been waiting for this comeuppance since last chapter, and I am very happy and very excited about it.
This is our first bit of Gabe karma, actually, comes around, and it's really nice.
Let's go.
And then Percy goes, not a scratch. I remembered Gabe saying, oops. just oops.
I know, oops, because he also doesn't really care, but I love that.
Not at all.
Oops.
Yeah.
And now Sally has completely ignored this. Like, she's not even thinking about the card.
Yeah.
This is not
Yeah.
top of mind,
Yeah.
like, in any direction. She's just here with the, like, here's how to fight. Like, we're getting, this is the part where we get the chapter title. Right? My mother teaches me bullfighting. So this is Sally teaching bullfighting. When he sees us, he'll charge, wait until the last second, then jump out of the way, directly sideways. He can't change directions very well once he's charging. Do you understand? And, like, lock in. And Percy's just like, how do you know this?
Right.
And I was like,
Percy's
I have
not
the
locked
same
in.
question. He's not logged in. But I'm with him. I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, he will become locked in, but
Oh,
as
will.
of right
He
now,
will.
Sally's locked in. He's not.
Yeah,
Percy's
he's not.
still very much kind of in that, like, will someone answer one of my questions?
Any question.
I'm
And she
dying
does.
for
She says,
information.
this is so sad. I've been worried about an
know.
attack for a long time. I should have expected this. I was selfish keeping you near me. I just drew
Yeah.
the crying face. I was like, this is so sad, Sally.
I know.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Because, like,
It's
I
so
just hate
sad
the
that-
idea that a mom would feel selfish for wanting to keep her son
Yeah.
close, you know?
Yeah, no, I know,
Yeah.
because it's the opposite of selfish, but the fact that she
Yeah.
has felt this whole time for all these years that she has been making
Yeah.
this selfish choice, and so then probably has been over preparing, you know, and
Totally.
honestly,
Totally.
like, you know, probably sticking with Gabe for all this time, it was in some way, maybe in her brain, her way of making up for her selfishness, you know,
Yeah.
of being like, okay, well, I'm choosing this thing that feels deeply selfish, even though it isn't. And so,
Yeah.
you know, I tolerate this because it'll help Percy, because it'll hide his scent, you know.
So he can stay with me more. But, yeah, it was just, it was sad. It was sad to read that.
Yeah.
And Percy, again, still not locked in. He's like, keeping me near you, but... And I don't know if he's going to say, like, but you sent me to boarding school, or, like, whatever he's going to say, like, after that.
Yeah.
But we get another bellow of rage. The bull man started tromping uphill. He'd smelled us. And then they were walking this whole time.
Yeah, so the pine tree is only a few more yards, but the hill is getting steeper and slicker because we've just had this crazy thunderstorms. There's been all this rain, so I'm sure it's terribly muddy and very hard to climb. And he says Grover wasn't getting any lighter because they've been, you know, essentially just carrying Grover with them.
That's
this whole
a lot.
time.
That's a lot.
And
I'm sure, like, his hair, his hairy legs are catching the water.
Yeah.
And as we know, water is heavy. And so I think that...
as we all collectively know, water is heavy.
As we all collectively know. No, but, like, I bet Grover is actually getting heavier because, all of his hair on his legs is capturing water as it's been raining.
Yes.
It's probably getting harder to carry him.
And the Minotaur has moved quickly. He's closed in, and in just another few seconds, he'd be fully on top of them. And so Sally, still locked in, is basically saying, remember the plan, remember what I told you, we need to separate.
Also, like in a war movie or a something movie, like, she just, like, shoulders Grover and starts walking, and I'm just like... Dang, Sally is a badass. Like, she just is. Like, she has just done Fast and Furious. Now she's like shouldering Grover. Like, she needs cargo pants and combat boots and
her mom adrenaline is still at a full 10 out of 10.
It is going.
She can do anything. And,
I don't know.
Right
maybe
now.
Sally's just ripped. Like, it doesn't get described to us, but
that's been part of her
like
training.
She's been preparing. Yeah, she does like the superhero training. On the regular, just in case you know anything happens.
Well, Disney princess. This is her Mulan. You know, she's been doing that. I can make a man out of you.
Yes, she's been climbing up to the top of poles to get arrows.
Yeah,
I love this. Okay, and we haven't even gotten to my Disney princess thing here. So, 100%. We need the superhero montage for Sally Jackson because she has been preparing. She is prepared. She has left not one stone unturned. She's been mentally and physically maybe not quite emotionally, but mentally and physically prepared for this moment. We love this. She's amazing. Percy doesn't want to split up. He has a feeling she's right. It was the only chance, so he sprints to the left. Luckily, the Minotaur follows him because if he doesn't, this is a really bad moment for Sally and Grover. And we get a little bit more description. His black eyes glowed with hate, and he reeked like rotten meat.
Gross.
A bummer.
That's so gross.
Don't love that. As someone who doesn't like smells. Yeah. Don't love that.
Yeah. And then he lowered his head and charged, those razor-sharp horns aimed straight at my chest.
Which I can feel just reading that.
Yeah.
Like how...
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. And Percy, the fear that he's feeling makes him want to bolt, completely understandably. But he knows that he can't outrun it, so he holds his ground like he was told. And at the very last second, he jumps to the side, and it works. The Minotaur storms, he says, past like a freight train, and then bellows with frustration. Yep. Yeah. Because
I love trains. But I also think it's a perfect description.
Oh, it's perfect for just kind of like a big weighty thing that, just kind of once it gets started, it goes and it can't, we can't turn, we can't adjust very quickly in the moment. And so the Minotaur bellows with frustration and turns, but not towards Percy, this time towards Sally and Grover.
Rough.
And so he's saying that they had reached the crest of the hill by this point.
They're so
he can
close.
see the valley, like his mother had described. He can see the lights of a farmhouse glowing.
Oh my gosh.
But that was about half a mile away. So he's like, we won't make it. And the Minotaur is grunting, pawing the ground, still eyeing Sally, who's now retreating downhill.
Well, hold on. Point of order. Can he be eyeing Sally if he can't see correctly? Isn't that the whole point? Is that the Minotaur has bad eyesight? I was just like, I thought he couldn't see well. Sorry, I'm just like...
Okay,
point of clarification.
Yeah.
Isn't he like sniffing Sally? Or something.
He's probably sniffing Sally, got her kind of general direction, knows where she is. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Thank you. Anyway, continuing.
So, Sally is now retreating slowly downhill. So she's left Grover.
Yep.
And is making her way back down towards the road, basically just trying to lead the Minotaur away from Grover.
Yeah.
And then
which
she
is like
yells,
very heroic.
"Run, Percy." Oh, very heroic, yes. Especially because she can't go into Camp Half-Blood.
Yeah.
But basically, like, honestly, any option for her is danger,
Yeah.
But she's kind of going off solo to where, like, no one else is really going to be able to help her.
Yeah.
And she's just trying to make sure that Grover makes it through, and Percy. So she tells Percy, "Run, I can't go any farther, run." And Percy stands there frozen in fear as he watches the Minotaur charge Sally.
Yeah.
And she tries to sidestep like she told him to do, but he'd learned. The Minotaur had picked up on it, and so his hand shoots out, grabs her by the neck as she tries to get away. He lifts her up. She's struggling, kicking and pummeling the air, which is
she
just
is
like
not
the
going
most
down without a
heartbreaking
fight.
thing to read. No, she's not. And all Percy really can do is just yell out, "Mom."
Yeah.
He's too far away to do anything, and also a 12-year-old watching, his mom,
terrifying,
in the hands of a literal mythological monster. It's terrifying.
Yes.
And the very last thing that she says, she catches his eyes and chokes out one last word, "Go."
Yeah.
Like, even in
she's
this
so
like
focused
final
still.
moment.
Yeah.
Yes. On just Percy
and I'm
making
just
it out.
wondering, so like with the angry roar, the monster closed his fists around her neck and she dissolves, melting into light. And I'm just like, okay, so Hades is doing this, right? Like Hades is bringing her down to the underworld. So, question. Is the Minotaur, has the Minotaur been told to do this? Like, has the Minotaur been told to capture Sally Jackson is one question I have. The other question I have is, alternatively, does Hades have like a widescreen of the situation? Like he's just like watching this unfold, on TV.
Yeah.
And so in that moment where like the Minotaur has Sally in his clutches, he's like, snap, and then like she comes down. You know what I mean? Like, what is actually happening here? I need to know.
Right. Like, is the Minotaur wearing a little GoPro to like live stream to Hades?
Exactly.
Like, what's happening?
Exactly. It's the nose ring. Like, how is that? Yeah. How is this happening? Or I mean, it is quite. Well, there's no sun though, but I'm like, it is. Maybe there's just like a fountain, and so there's drachmas being thrown in, and we're just watching it on a big widescreen fountain. Like, there has to be like widescreen versions, right? Of like.
Yeah, for
communication.
Sure.
Yeah.
But no, that is a good question. If part of the Hades plan of sending the Minotaur was to capture Sally Jackson, but I think if his plan works like he wanted to, he would have captured Percy, and not Sally. So I also wonder if it's maybe just kind of a default of like whoever the Minotaur gets in his hands,
like capture anyone you can.
It's almost kind of like. Yeah, like a set like trigger of as soon as the Minotaur has his hands on somebody, whoever it is, they're going to disappear into golden light.
That's true.
I think
that is very possible.
I feel like maybe it's kind of that, because best case scenario for Hades is that he actually captures Percy in this moment, and so I feel
maybe
like
that's
he's
just
probably
what it was
thinking
set
through
to.
The Minotaur. Yeah, like the Minotaur's not really going to be able to see who he's grabbing, so let's just get everybody. Cast a wide net and hope that Percy gets caught in that net.
Totally. Because I guess, no one else yet knows that Percy is so focused on like leaving no one behind. Right. So in theory, you could be like, okay, heroes, whatever, maybe might do that. But like plenty of heroes in Greek mythology, i.e. Hercules, are like not particularly, selfless. So you wouldn't necessarily know that someone is like that yet, or that Percy is like that yet.
Yeah. And the last little bit is that we, like, before his eyes, she's melting into light, a shimmering golden form, as if she were a holographic projection, a blinding flash, and she was simply gone.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that in this moment, he's just immediately like, well, she's died,
Totally.
I think especially because, I was thinking about it this time around, like, I think especially because he's now seen monsters dissolve into ash, and that's their kind of mythological way of dying. Like, it would make sense that, okay, if I see someone else disappear, so in this mythological
by a monster,
world, you disappear, that means that you have died.
For sure. I mean, that would be my interpretation.
I think it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
But see, this makes me wonder.
You wouldn't immediately jump to, oh, it was golden light, so she's definitely still alive.
No. She's just been like transported to the underworld, but not in a dead way. Like that doesn't make sense. My curiosity here, though, like the holographic projection part, really makes me wonder if it is the same type of magic, though, as I was saying, as like the communication network when you put the drachma into the water, and I'm like, like is this somehow similar magic in some way, like transporting people, transporting communications, beaming their image, like I don't know, I'm just curious. It's raining, there is water. Anyway, I'm curious how this functions, and maybe it's just god magic and we don't need to worry about it, but I like to know. I want to know how it works.
Yeah. And then this is where Percy locks in. This is where Percy goes, okay, we're not messing around. I've lost my mom, so I am locking in.
Yeah.
And he says, the anger replaced my fear.
Honey.
Newfound strength burned in my limbs, the same rush of energy I'd gotten when Mrs. Dodds grew talons.
Which is important.
So this is, like, it's important. This is our first kind of little, like, other peek into, okay, demigods kind of have these like almost like built-in battle settings, that get like turned on
set
when they're in
stud.
Yes. Yep. And so now the Minotaur has turned to Grover, who's just laying helpless on the grass.
Grover.
And he's hunched over, he's snuffling Grover. Yeah. And Percy says, as if you're about to lift Grover up and make him dissolve too. And Percy's not going to let that happen.
Nope. And I love this because he's like, I'm wearing a red jacket. He's like, I love this as like, like a really like suave movie moment where he's just like rips off the red jacket, pulls it to the side.
Yeah.
It's like,
but also I love the kind of 12-year-old brain logic of, okay, Minotaur, part bull. I've seen matadors. Okay, they've got the red flags. I bet, even though it's a minotaur, a mythological creature thousands of years old, I bet I can get him with the red.
I bet I can.
Pretend
and you know what? He's right.
Flag.
You know, he's not wrong. Yeah. He's just not wrong here.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
But I also love that he's still Percy, right? So, like, when faced with a, you know, millennia old mythological creature, the taunt is, hey, stupid, ground beef. So Percy.
So Percy. Funny. The first of our kind of like monster nicknames that he'll throw out to like taunt them, which, you know, love that he does that.
Very Iron Man, honestly, in humor style.
Oh, true. Yeah.
You know, Squidward. Or, you know, all the references.
That kind of Iron Man sass.
Little bit.
No, totally. Yep.
And then to refute the I have no imagination, Percy has an idea. And I just wrote imagination beside it. He says it's a stupid idea, but better than no idea at all. Which agreed. On being better, you know, any idea is better than no idea. And I happen to love ideas. And so he puts his back to the big pine tree, which, to be honest, I like hadn't like caught that before fully, that he does that. Yeah. And I feel like it's kind of like a really sweet moment, because there's so many times where heroes are like fighting back to back, you know, in against monsters and stuff like that. And I love this idea that this is kind of like the first time that him and Talia do that in a way. And that's just like really sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. My thing every time I have read this description, after then, you know, knowing all the information, is I always get angry, because I'm like, if people had just told him, all you have to do is literally get to the other side of the tree and you're safe, because the monster literally cannot cross it. Yeah. Like, all he would have had to do is drag Grover, you know, probably like not that
for sure, but like Grover's far away from him, like, though. Like he can't actually get to Grover without the Minotaur getting him. That's the issue here, I think.
No, I know.
But yes, I know.
But I'm just like, he's literally probably like 3 steps away from complete and utter safety, but he doesn't know that, because no one at this point has actually explained fully that like crossing that line means
because she says she can't cross it, but she doesn't explain where it is, and she just tells him to go past the tree and down.
Yeah, she just tells him.
I think either way he can't do that and save Grover in this moment. Like, I think he kind of has to create this distraction, but that's fair. And so, interestingly, he wants to try the same strategy, even though he has seen that it doesn't work. So I felt like that was a little bit of a logical flaw here. I'm like, you know, you tried it. It worked. Mom tried it. It didn't work. Maybe we need a new plan. But, you know, we haven't met Annabeth yet. Like, we're not, the strategy brain is not what we're contributing all the time to the situation. That's okay. We all have our strengths. And so it didn't happen like that, predictably. The bullman charged too fast, and his arms out to grab me whichever way I tried to dodge. Good strategy on the Minotaur's behalf. Time slowed down, which in this case I think is more of that like ADHD reflexes and not a Chronos situation.
Yes, this is very much the demigod, like hit that kind of like ability kicking in of the ADHD becoming helpful, of being able to be like, I'm taking in all this information, and so now this slows down for a second and I'm able to react,
which I love. And then his legs tense. He says, I couldn't jump sideways, so I leaped straight up, kicking off from the creature's head, using it as a springboard, turning in midair and landing on his neck. Olympic gymnast Percy Jackson.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
100%.
And even Percy's like, how did I do that?
Yeah.
Even he's like, oh, I surprised myself.
It's like, I know Kung Fu. Like, he's downloaded some kind of code that he didn't know he downloaded into his brain.
Yeah.
And though, I was like, ouch, poor Thalia. A millisecond later, the monster's head slammed into the tree. The impact nearly knocked my teeth out. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Poor Thalia.
I know, she's catching some strays.
Yeah,
in all of
definitely.
this as well.
Taking a beating over here. I'm like, can she feel it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, she gets out and she's just like, that Minotaur thing, not cool.
Right.
Didn't like
Messed
it.
up my back.
Yep. Permanently, like, has a slight twinge just from this. Oh, that would be sad.
Yeah.
And then Percy is just at one of those, like, roadhouse places where you can ride a bull, put a quarter in,
yep, holding
stay on for dear
Just...
life. Yep. And he's got the arms locked around the horns to keep, from being thrown. And thunder and lightning is still going strong. And I'm like, Zeus, can you please give us a minute?
Is
just
not
like,
stopping.
Can you just like calm down for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, but he won't. He won't chill. He will not.
He won't.
And so the rain is fully in Percy's eyes, and he says the smell of rotten meat burned my nostrils.
Yeah.
Again, just so gross.
Gnarly. That's gnarly.
And this is when Percy realizes, because he's saying the monster shook himself around and bucked like a rodeo bull. He should have backed up into the tree and smashed me flat, but I was starting to realize that this thing only had one gear forward.
Which I love that description.
So
like
we were kind of seeing, Percy. Yes.
Yeah, he's figuring it out.
Yeah. But Percy's, he's thinking on his feet. He is putting the pieces together in the moment. And then, Grover, of course, because he always picks the perfect time, starts groaning in the grass. And Percy wants to tell him to shut up, but he's being tossed around so much that he would have bit his own tongue off had he even opened his mouth to say anything.
That I could feel that.
Well,
Grover, like, I did not like that.
Yeah. Oh yes. Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can really feel that one when you read that.
Yep.
And Grover again just moans food because one track mind
Grover.
basically. For the rest of the chapter.
Can't stop, won't stop, hungry Grover.
Yeah. And then, so the Minotaur is now, because he's heard Grover, wheels around to face him.
Yep.
Is getting ready to charge. And anger really fuels Percy again in this moment.
Yeah.
He's thinking about what just happened to his mom, that this Minotaur made her disappear. And rage, he says, filled me like high-octane fuel.
Love it.
And so he gets 2 hands around one horn and pulls back with all of his might. The monster tenses, gives a surprised grunt, like, huh? What just happened?
I kind of love that.
And then snap.
Yeah, which this is great intuition on Percy's part to, be like, okay, I'm just going to hold on and pull, and he's not thinking of this as like, I need a weapon, I'm going to get a weapon, like that's not really the thought process, but he's just like intuitively going through the steps of like, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with this monster who's coming at me right now.
Yep. Exactly. And the Minotaur screams, flings Percy through the air so he lands flat on his back in the grass. His head smacks against a rock, which I also felt. Ow. Reading it immediately, just felt like I got a headache.
Yes. Yes.
Reading it. And he sits up, his vision is blurry, but in his hands is the horn, a ragged bone weapon the size of a knife.
Nice. The Minotaur charges, and without thinking, Percy rolls to one side and comes up kneeling, which again, I love this, like strong intuition. He knows what to do. He's like just going on pure adrenaline, pure instinct, pure anger. the monster barrels past and he drives the broken horn straight into his side, which, like, given how fast the Minotaur is going, like, really impressive timing too on Percy's part. Right under his furry rib cage. I'm like, dang, Percy, like, the very hero moment for Percy Jackson. And
it's very much, I pictured when it says I rolled to one side and came up kneeling, I was like, this is his superhero pose.
100%.
I was like, Yelena, you know, like, this is his superhero pose moment.
It is. We'll have to see if he does it again. And he notices in this moment that the Minotaur is disintegrating, not like his mom in a flash of golden light, but crumbling sand blown away in chunks by the wind, the same as Mrs. Dodd. So that's interesting. We're getting that like monster death. And we also have Percy Jackson, monster kill, number 2 in the books.
Number 2 on the books. Yeah. With his first, this feels like his first like intentional one, you know, because Mrs. Dodds was kind of like, I don't know what's happening.
Totally.
Right
also
now.
Been given sword.
And so yes. This is his first kind of proper monster fight, you know, where there was strategy. He knew what he was fighting, that it was the Minotaur. Like, he still doesn't have all the answers, but this is his really first proper fight where he's aware of, oh, I am, you know, fighting an actual monster right now. This is what's happening.
Totally. And then, interestingly, the rain had stopped and the storm is rumbling in the distance. And I'm just like, why? Like...
Yeah.
Percy hasn't even crossed in yet. Like, I'm just curious why Zeus gives up in this moment.
I feel like he's just like playing games, and then seeing that Percy won, he's kind of like, okay, I'll back off.
He's like a child. Zeus is like a child.
Yeah. And he's saying, so it's, the rain has stopped. The storm is rumbling in the distance. He's saying, I smelled like livestock and my knees were shaking.
Yeah.
My head felt like it was splitting open because he hit it on a rock. I was weak and scared and trembling with grief. I'd just seen my mother vanish. I wanted to lie down and cry, but there was Grover needing my help. So I managed to haul him up and stagger down into the valley towards the lights of the farmhouse. I was crying, calling for my mother, but I held on to Grover. I wasn't going to let him go.
It's so sad.
It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because it's like, now that
Percy.
the real height of the adrenaline, the danger is through, what just hits him is all the grief of, I just lost my mom. And in this moment, he's like, I've lost my mom, so I cannot lose Grover as well. We both have to make it.
Yeah. He's such a good friend. And he's just distraught in this moment. And you just really feel for him. And you as the reader are also disoriented. Like, the whole thing is like confusing and intense. And you've just been through this like immensely action-packed situation, and he's just using his last little reserves of energy to get Grover and himself to the house. The last thing he remembers is collapsing on a wooden porch, looking up at a ceiling fan. I love that he even like notices moths flying around a yellow light in that moment. I'm like, it's just funny. Like, even, he's still observant, like even when he's about to pass out. And the stern faces of a familiar looking bearded man, which I think that's hilarious, that in this moment he's like, you're one of my favorite people, but I think I know who is that. And a pretty girl, her blonde hair curled like a princess's, which we're getting more a princess reference here, which is interesting.
Yes.
And I think it's, I don't know, I think it's sweet because, you know, they're gonna end up liking each other. That from the beginning, he's like, you're pretty. They both looked down at me, and the girl said, he's the one, he must be, which is like our first prophecy reference, which is really exciting. That's pretty exciting, even though it's like little. And we get her name. Silence, Annabeth. The man said, he's still conscious, bring him inside. So again, Annabeth has entered the chat.
No one wants to let Percy know what's happening.
No.
She has. But yeah, we're still holding on to Percy cannot know what's happening. Even though he's arrived, he's like, here,
no.
He just killed a Minotaur.
Yep. Nope, still the default is no. Percy can't know anything. This is very important.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my Sally Jackson princess.
Yes.
Additional evidence. Okay, we've in this chapter so far compared her to Mulan.
Yes,
but I'm also going to make an argument right now in a obviously different, less creepy context for a Snow White kind of situation, because Sally Jackson has now been put to sleep or in some kind of suspended animation situation, and is in need of rescuing. And what is more Disney princess, at least old-fashioned Disney princess, than that?
Than needing to be rescued.
Exactly. While still being like amazing enough to have technically been able to do all the things yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I just think she's checking every box. Like, she's the 90s Disney princesses. She's also the original Disney princesses. Like, every box checked.
Yeah.
And it's just further evidence to me, further proof of Sally Jackson, Disney princess, the most important part of the book so far.
Most important part. This is definitely, I think it really hit me the most. Again, just reading these books so much more slowly than I ever have in my entire life. It really hit me this time around how we meet Sally Jackson in one chapter, and then in literally the next chapter we lose her. And just how heartbreaking that is. And we get such a beautiful introduction to her, and we learn so much about her. We learn her entire backstory. Like, we get the rundown of her childhood, like all of the hard things that she's been through. And we completely fall in love with her just to lose her in the very next chapter.
I know.
And it's just so heartbreaking. And the only thing that keeps me going is the fact that I know that she's alive and coming back, and we will see her at the end of the book. But I'm kind of realizing now it's going to be a long time until we get reunited with Sally Jackson. You know,
I think it's just like,
normally I read these books and it's like 2 hours later, and now I'm like, it's going to be a lot more than 2 hours.
Oh, it's going to be many weeks. I know.
Yeah.
The suspense is going to hit really differently in this, way that we're reading. But I think, like, to your point, it is such an effective character introduction. I think there are a few characters that are introduced in one chapter and then killed off, so to speak, in the immediate following chapter, but make such an indelible impact, like, on your mind, on the story, on the character, tell you so much about the main character and about themselves. Like, oftentimes some kind of mentor or parent figure will die in a hero's journey, right? But I think, like, you usually get more time with them. And this is written so well in a way that you feel like you do when you're reading it. And I think it's just super effective. And yes, I would not want to keep going if I didn't know that we could see her again. Because you can't take Sally Jackson away from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, okay, now, it's a little slight Fast and the Furious reference of the song, See You Again from the movie. I don't think you know it, and I don't want to sing it for copyright reasons, but there is,
Sounds
so,
perfect.
anyways, just more references. Sally Jackson is a Disney princess in the Fast and the Furious movies.
The mashup we've all been waiting for and didn't realize we needed.
That everyone's been asking for is when will Disney and the Fast and the Furious
merge together with Sally Jackson.
Racing. Yes.
Honestly, though, the video game that would make would be pretty cool. People would play that. Like F1 Disney princesses.
I would.
Like, people would play that.
Oh, I would absolutely play that. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, and we are open to collaborations, Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Give us a call. The last little thing that I just want to say is that I really appreciate how Rick Riordan does not shy away from stakes and incredibly high stakes, like the technical age, though I think these books can be read and loved and enjoyed by anybody at any age. The technical age range of these books is middle grade. And I just really appreciate that he does not shy away from real genuine stakes, and I think it feels like he trusts the readership to be able to handle that, which you can. I mean, when I read these, like, they made me incredibly emotional, and I loved them. I mean, that's why I'm still reading them 20 years later. And I have not stopped reading them. And it's something that we will see time and time again in this series, in Heroes of Olympus, in the other books that Anna has not read yet, so I won't dive too deep into that, but I'm pretty sure some of the listeners will know what I'm talking about. But I just really appreciate that he does not shy away from having real stakes and real life and death stakes, because this world does have them. And I appreciate, even though they break my heart as a reader, I appreciate that we have them, because I think it really makes the world feel all the more real.
Totally. Well, real stakes and real emotions, right? Because, like, we're not, we're not just like, oh, we had to get growth. Like, we are experiencing grief. We're experiencing the loss. Like, Percy is feeling all the feelings. And I think also just having a boy character in a book who can feel, I think we've said that before, but like, who can feel the feelings, and someone like Grover, like, they feel their feelings. And I think that it's just like counter to how people get socialized a lot of the time. And so it's like really, it's just really lovely to see that. But also, like, Greek myths had real stakes. Like, they were metaphors too, to like represent like really intense things that people are going through. And so I feel like both that these books do a similar thing for us as an audience, but also, you know, are paying tribute to that source, that origin point, where like it is life and death, to the point where there's like universal consequences for some of the actions. And it's super cool to bring that into our context, our reality, and our present modern moment. So I love that. Absolutely. I think it's still very relevant 20 years later to this day. And this is a fun chapter. Like, I mean, obviously there's some tragedy in it, but the adventure and action in it is just really fun to read. And it was really fun to go through.
It feels like you basically get like a little mini action movie in this chapter. And that's
absolutely so much fun. And there's more action to come, and we're finally at camp, guys. We're finally at camp. We did it. We made it. Let's go.
We've made it.
I'm so excited. We did it. I'm so excited for next week when we read chapter 5. I play Pinnacle with a horse. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.